If you think the Mission Impossible saga has already shown you everything, from running on speeding trains to diving off helicopters in free fall, take a breath, because Mission Impossible Reckoning Point is coming. And it's not just coming hard, it's coming with absolutely everything. And we're not just talking about physics-defying stunts, though spoiler, there are plenty. We're talking about a movie that cost nearly $400 million to make, making it quite possibly the most expensive installment in the franchise, and one of the priciest blockbusters in modern cinema. That alone would be enough to draw attention, but what this film promises to deliver goes far beyond a bloated budget. This is a project that aims to conclude, or at least transform, one of the longest-running and most respected action series in Hollywood. But wait, where did those $400 million go? Because yes, that's the big question. And no, the answer isn't just to pay for Tom Cruise running in slow motion, although he is, in fact, running, jumping, climbing, and flying more than ever. A massive portion of the budget was swallowed by real-world location shooting, from Norwegian fjords to European ruins, desert landscapes, and icy platforms, complete with underwater sequences, practical explosions, death-defying bike jumps off cliffs, no CGI. And, of course, delays from the pandemic and industry strikes. So we're talking about an explosive cocktail of ambition, technical perfectionism, and logistical chaos. And let's not forget, this is a director, Christopher McQuarrie, and a lead actor, Tom Cruise, who are absolutely obsessed with doing things the hard, real, old-school way. Practical effects, real stunts, and authentic sweat. The cast also helps justify the sky-high budget. Tom Cruise returns as Ethan Hunt, the indestructible super agent who somehow has more stamina than any Marvel hero. Joining him are Ving Rhames as Luther, Simon Pegg as the perpetually panicked and lovable Benji, Rebecca Ferguson as the lethal Ilsa, and the magnetic Haley Atwell, whose character seems to take on a surprisingly central role this time, perhaps even a spiritual successor in the making. Also on board, Palm Clementif with a mysterious, deadly aura, and Esai Morales as Gabriel, the main villain, a deceptively simple name for a character deeply intertwined with Ethan's past. No generic baddie with a vague accent and some global domination scheme. Gabriel is a ghost from Ethan's history, knocking on the door with bad news, possibly even a distorted mirror of Hunt himself. But here's the twist, the real villain isn't human. It's called the Entity, an AI capable of manipulating data, systems, global communications, and even the perception of truth itself. This is arguably the most timely, thought-provoking threat the franchise has ever tackled. It's no longer about stopping a bomb, it's about protecting reality as we know it. And that, frankly, is a bold narrative shift for a saga that started back in the 90s with floppy disks and retinal scanners. The danger now is invisible, incorporeal, but omnipresent. For the first time, Ethan Hunt is fighting something he can't punch, shoot, or jump on, and that changes everything. Critics, especially after the first press screenings in Los Angeles and London, have been surprisingly enthusiastic. The film has earned praise not just for its action, which is still utterly jaw-dropping, but for its emotional depth and thematic ambition. Outlets like Empire, Variety, and The Hollywood Reporter are calling it one of the most mature entries in the series, and maybe even the best since Rogue Nation. Several highlight one particular train sequence already being hailed as a new action classic, but even more interesting is how many critics focus on the film's emotional weight. This is an Ethan Hunt we've never quite seen before, not just the tireless operative, but a man weighed down by everything he's lost and everything he's still trying to save. It's nuanced, it's grounded, and it brings surprising dramatic force to a franchise known for spectacle. McQuarrie's direction remains clear, confident, and classic. He lets the action breathe, uses wide lenses, and builds tension through rhythm rather than noise. But there's a richer layer here too. Moments are allowed to settle, silences carry meaning, and even the humor, yes, there's still humor, feels more character-driven than ever before. Benji provides the usual comic relief, but now even the jokes carry emotional subtext. There's a narrative maturity at play here that respects the audience's intelligence. And despite the film's hefty runtime, 169 minutes, it flows with such purpose and momentum that it never drags. Naturally, the elephant in the room, is this Ethan Hunt's final mission? While the marketing has been intentionally vague, the tone of the film, from the title to the lingering glances, strongly suggests we're entering the final arc. Whether this is truly the last chapter, or just the beginning of a two-part farewell, remains uncertain. But make no mistake, everything about this entry feels weightier, more definitive. Even the cinematography seems darker, more reflective, as if the image itself is preparing for closure. This film also does something rare for modern blockbusters. It dares to be about something. It asks real questions about control, autonomy, digital truth, and the limits of free will in an age of invisible manipulation. It's no longer just about Ethan saving the world. It's about whether the world as we know it can even be saved from itself. In that sense, Reckoning Point isn't just an action film. It's a conversation with the present moment, delivered through adrenaline, grit, and genuine emotional stakes. In the end, what truly stands out is the balance between blockbuster scale and intimate storytelling. This is a film that knows its audience has grown alongside the franchise, and it treats them with that earned respect. It gives us everything we love about Mission Impossible, but also delivers something we didn't expect: introspection, consequences, humanity. And honestly, how many long-running franchises can still evolve like this after nearly 3 decades? If you made it this far, then your mission, should you choose to accept it, is simple. Drop a like, leave a comment with your theories or thoughts, and hit subscribe if you want more deep dive content like this. Is this really the end of Ethan Hunt? Or will we see Tom Cruise launching himself into space at 70 with a grin on his face and a ticking timer strapped to his chest? Either way, see you in the next mission.